Hello Divi Nation and welcome. In today's video, I'm going to show you step by step how to download and install our free blog post template for Divi's Pizzeria Layout Pack. Here are the results of what we're going to be designing today. So without wasting a lot of time, let's dive in and let's get started. All right, so the first thing we need to do is to head over to this blog post, which I'll link to in the show notes below. Now, once you get here, you need to download this layout. So I'm going to come over here, click on get it for free today, enter my email address, and then click on download. Next, you want to download the file itself and unzip the file. So I'm going to click on download the files. And you can see here it's been downloaded. So I'm just going to navigate to my downloads folder. And here it is. I'm going to double click on it. And now it has unzipped my file. So I'm going to go into that folder. And this is the file that we're going to need to use in a moment. So I'm just going to drag it over here to my other screen, so it's out of the way. Next, I need to now come over here to my site. So this is now time to install our layout. But before we do that, I'd like to show you what our blog post layout looks like before we install this free layout template. All right, so this is our blog post. So as you can see here, there's no design to this. So the idea is to go in and really transform how this looks. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to come all the way down here to Divi, click on Theme Builder. Next, I'm going to click here on Portability, Import. Now remember that file we unzipped. I'm going to bring it over here and I'm just going to drag and drop it over here. Another way of doing it is just clicking here where it says choose file, and this will open up your file system. And this is where you can find your file where it is downloaded in your folders. Okay, so with these two options here selected, click on Import Theme Builder Template. And now you can see here, this template has been applied to all my posts. So this is what we had before. Now notice what happens now when I hit Save Changes. And then I come over here and refresh. Now we have a totally different design. And as you can see, this is looking way much better than how we had it before. It is a totally new design. It also has our related posts here if we do have any. And our comments area here has also changed. Now let me go in and show you how you can go in and further customize this to make it match with your site. All right, so to do that, you want to go and click on this pencil icon. And this now is going to take you into the builder. All right, so let's start here by taking a look at the background. So I'm going to click on my section settings, go to the background. So if you're not a fan of this design here in the backs, you can just change the color. And over here on the image, you can go ahead and delete it completely. And now you can see that the color that we've added here on the background is now showing through. So if you're not a fan of that background, you can just go in and delete it and then add your own color. All right, so I'm going to close out of here. And the next step now is to take a look at our title. So I'm going to click here on my module settings. And as you can see here, this is set to post or archive title. So I'm going to click here on design. So to customize our text, you can see here our heading font is selected. So you can choose your font here. So let's say you want to go with Poppins. This is what it would look like. And if you want to adjust the size, you can just play around with the size adjustments like that. So this is where you would go in and make your changes. Now for our font weight, maybe you want to have this light. You can just update it by doing that. So it is quite easy to do that. Now there's also other ways of seeing what has been updated here. So if you click on these three little dots, you can click here on View Modified Styles, and this will show you everything that was changed here. So you can see here, we have our font, our size, our letter spacing, our margins, and we also have our transformation, because you can see here that this is on an angle. So if you wanted to change that, you can just come over here, and you see here where you have -10 degree, you can just play around with this and change this to your liking. So this is where you would come and make your changes. So I'm going to close out of here. And then the next now is these categories. So this will show your categories. So if you want to go in and customize that, again, this is set over here, and this is dynamic content. But what we're interested here is with the design. So here on the design, you can just click on these three little dots and view the styles that have been updated. So in our case here, we're just going to go directly to our link color. So you can see we have this bright orange here, so we can change this to whatever color we want. But of course, I'm not going to play around with these colors. And also there's quite a few things that have been changed here on the transform. You can see here we also have the skew, and it's at -8 degrees. And again, if you change it, it's going to change its orientation. All right, so I'm going to close out of here. Now, the next part is these 3 areas here. So let me take a look at one of them. So this is actually a blurb. So to make changes to this, you can go specifically to each and every item. So let's start here with the icon. So I'm going to click here on this paintbrush icon, and this now has taken us to our icon. So I can change my icon color. I can even change the circle color. So you can see by just clicking that, it's updating everything in here. Now back over here, let's say you want to change the background. This is where our background is. So I can just update it like that. And just by doing that, this is updating our background. So as you can see, this is very, very easy to go in and make changes to. Now, if you want to make changes to the icon itself, then what you want to do is to come over here to image and icon. So this is where you can update your icon. So let's say you want to go with this one, and you can see there it has been updated. Now we also have options to go in and customize our text here. So our comment count font can be changed here by selecting the one you want. So I've just selected Poppins there, and also our comments here can also be updated. So now I'm just going to set everything to Poppins, and you can see now it looks way different. Now the reason why I'm doing this is because if you have a website which has fonts that are already set, this is where you can go in and just make changes to this. Now, if you were to save this, right, what will happen is all your blog posts will be updated by all the changes you're making to this template. And this is why designing with the theme builder is very, very powerful. So all the changes that I've shown you here can be applied to this one here and that one. Okay, so moving on, we have this image here. Now this is just a dynamic image. There's really nothing much we can do here. This is pretty much pulling our featured image, but it's doing it dynamically. Okay, now moving on, let's take a look here at our post content. Now the post content is very interesting here because what we can do is we can go in and set our headings. So as you can see here, we have a monster rat, and we can make this bold. Now, as we make changes to this, it's going to update across the whole website. So you can see here, this is semi-bold, and this is going to update. So if I go in and change my colors as well, these colors are going to apply to all my blog posts on my site. Next, you can go in and customize this paragraph text. And again, you can go in and change your link text and also your normal text. Right, so moving on, I am just going to close here, and let's take a look here on the side. So here we have our search. In fact, let me just go in here so I can show you our sidebar settings. So for our sidebar settings, we can go in and make changes to our search bar and also these links that we have here. So if you click on this paintbrush icon, it will take you to the font itself, and you can go in and change the fonts or the colors. You can change the sizes. You can change the font itself over here to match with the rest of your website. Okay, so that's all you have to do there. Now, this area here is very important. This is our email subscribe. Now, if you don't set this correctly, this won't work. So what I'm going to do now is to show you how to set this up correctly. So what you want to do is to scroll all the way down here to email account. So this is where you want to select your service providers. Now, there's quite a lot to choose from. There's ConvertKit, Emma, Fluent CRM, and so on. So you want to make sure you choose your one. And it's also very important that you create your list first before you come in and customize here, because you want that list to show up when you click on the drop down. So once you've added it, you just click on add, and the next step is to come over here to success action. So your success action here is what happens when someone hits subscribe. So you can either show them a message, you can just type a new message here, but by default it says success. Now, one of my favorite ways of showing my success action is to create a dedicated page which has a specific message for all my subscribers. So if you create the page, you can just come over here, click on redirect to a custom URL, and then paste the URL here. So it's very important that you add it here. Okay, so once you add it here, as soon as they hit subscribe, they are going to be redirected to that specific page. And it's always a good idea to add your thank you message there. Okay, so that is how you do it. I'm just going to close out of here. Now moving on, we also have this related post. So this is how it's going to show. Now I know earlier on I showed you how to remove this background. Now you may have forgotten. Let me just show you quickly how you do that. You click on the section settings, you go to your background, and this is the image. So you can just delete it and then you can add your color like that. Okay. We're going to close out of here. Now let's take a look at our post. So I'm going to click here on this gear icon to go into my blog settings. So you can choose how many related posts show up here. So by default, it's set to 3. You can also choose which categories they are from. So you can select all your categories here. And if you wanted to choose specific categories, you can just choose them here. Okay, so pretty much that's all you need to do. Now, if you want to customize this, you can just click on this paintbrush icon and this will take you directly to whatever you want to customize. So here we are on the body font. So let's say you choose this one here. Now you can see it's been updated and the meta text as well can be updated here. We can change the colors. And as you can see me cycling through these, the colors are changing. You can also change the meta text size. You can see that it's getting bigger, but the most important thing here is to make sure that all the colors you're going to use throughout this all come from your color palette. That's what's going to have your template consistent. All right, so pretty much that's all you have to do. Now the same thing applies here. You can go into your comments, and once you click on your settings, you can go to each and every item here and update it. So let's say you want to change the color, you can just change it like that. The same thing applies to the buttons. You can just click on this paintbrush icon. It will take you to the button settings. And here we can see that we can go in and change the button background. So now we have a totally different color over there. Okay, so pretty much this is how you go in and make your updates. So there you have it. Thank you all for watching. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and do follow us on our social media platforms. By doing so, you'll be notified every time we release new tutorials. Until next time, thanks for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.